he always have been listening to the story by Nanny, and it is always the same story, the story of paradise. They brought her to their home, she lived with them, and she was very beautiful, and it was fixed that Aksa will marry to Adzil. Okay. Whenever Nanny told the story about paradise, she also mentioned that those who die, only they can go to paradise. When you are living, you cannot go to paradise. Hello everyone, this is Shobita S. Aradhya, lecturer, Department of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to you all to today's session. Today, we are going to paradise. Is it surprising? Yeah. Today, Isaac Bashevis is taking us to paradise. Here, in this story, a boy dreams or he wishes to go to paradise where he need not work or need not eat the same food. But what happens? Will he go? Will he live in the paradise? Will he experience that? All that we'll be discussing today. So, without any delay, let's start today's session with Fool's Paradise, and this is written by Isaac Bashevis Singer. So, Isaac Bashevis Singer is the author who has written the stories, the short stories, which have serious note but the glimpse of comedy in between. So, let's see the lesson. So, today we will be discussing about the author, title, theme of the story, summary of the story, and then we will discuss some of the question answers which are important, which may be asked to your examination. Then conclusion. So, let's start with the author. You can see the author here. His face looks serious, but there is something naughtiness in him. So, that is how he wrote his stories in the same way. Serious stories, but in between there are the sprinkles of comedy. Author Isaac Bashevis Singer was a writer, journalist, and the winner of a Nobel Prize in Literature. So, you need to note that he was the winner of Nobel Prize for Literature. Okay. Then he was a writer of 3 nations, means he wrote in 3 languages. One is Jewish, then American and Polish. So, he wrote in 3 languages. He wrote in Yiddish language, English and Polish language. Then he was born between 1902 and 1904. Here, his exact day of birth is not known. He don't know which date he was born. So, it is said that he was born between 1902 and 1904 in Leonsin near Warsaw and died on 24 July 1991 in Miami, Florida. So, you can see the nations where he lived also. So, this is about the author Isaac Bashevis Singer. Next, the theme. Why is the theme, or what is the theme? Finally, there is the beautiful message of Fool's Paradise. So, there is a message. Fool's Paradise means somebody who is a fool or who is fooled to be taken to the paradise is the theme of the lesson. In its absurd way, a simple but important moral lesson is conveyed. So, there is a moral at the end of the story. What is that moral? That life is better than death and wonderful paradise is nowhere else but it is on the earth. So, what is the moral here? That life is better than death. Don't you think life is better than death? Many people, they take decision of killing themselves. That is, they attempt for suicide. But what is next left after suicide? Nothing. But if you are living, there are chances that you will succeed, you will win, you will achieve something. So, here the writer is trying to tell that life is much better than death and wonderful paradise is nowhere but on the earth. So, don't imagine that somewhere there is a world where it is beautiful, where it is peaceful, where you can enjoy. All that can be on the earth. You can make it, you can see it happen by your efforts. So, he is trying to tell that paradise is nowhere but on the earth. This is a lesson relevant to everyone, children and grown-ups alike. So, this comparison with we people with the lesson, it is relevant to everyone. It can be the children or the grown-ups. The thinking of having wonderful world, enjoying the world is same for both young and the old. But here in this lesson, we can see the relevance for both children and the youth or the old age people also. Let's start with the summary. You know the theme that it is about a paradise which is fooled to someone. Okay, so let's start now. Let's know what it is. The scene opens with Adzel appearing as a child at bedtime. He begs Nanny to tell him his favorite story, the story of paradise. So here the main character is Adzel. Okay, Adzel is a boy. He lives with his parents, father, mother, and relative daughter who is an orphan who lives with them, and she is Aksa. Adzel and Aksa are of same age. They play together, they sleep together, they eat together. They are very close to each other. And their family, Adzel was taken care by a nanny. Nanny is a person who takes care of children. Okay, so he is taken care by nanny, and here the scene opens with the child's bedtime. He is going to bed at that time. What happens from there? The scene opens, the story starts. So here Adzel appearing as a child at bedtime. He is on his bed, he is about to sleep. He begs Nanny to tell him his favorite story. He has a story which is his favorite. And what is that story? That story is the story of paradise. He always have been listening to the story by Nanny, and it is always the same story, the story of paradise. So how the paradise will be, how people live there, how they enjoy, what will they get. All those pictures were given by Nanny to this boy, and the name of that boy is Adzel. Nanny describes a place where nobody works or strains and everybody enjoys luxuries usually reserved for the righteous. So, what is paradise according to Nanny? So, she describes that paradise is a place where nobody works. There is nobody who is working there. All are completely in rest. They are resting, they are enjoying. And they do not strain themselves. They do not even strain themselves, and everybody enjoys luxuries. So, there is no difference that this class people will enjoy the luxury, this class people will work, nothing like that. Each and every person who goes to paradise after death will enjoy all the luxuries there. So, that is the intention of telling here, enjoys luxuries, and usually reserved for the righteous. So, if you are reserved for that, if you deserve that right, only then you will get to go to paradise. We say that hell and heaven. Those who do good deeds in their life, they go to heaven. Those who do not do good deeds, those who trouble others, they will go to hell. This is a common belief we have, right? So, whoever goes to heaven, he will be in the paradise. And what will they do in paradise? They do not work, they do not strain themselves, they enjoy all the luxuries. Adzel drifts to sleep, barely heeding her warning that only the dead can reach paradise. So, whenever Nanny told the story about paradise, she also mentioned that those who die, only they can go to paradise. When you are living, you cannot go to paradise. Listening to that, he sleeps. Adzel sleeps, and the condition to go to paradise is only the dead can reach the paradise. Okay. Adzel, now 18 years old, and his father Kadish are laboring. Adzel, who is due to marry the beautiful Aksa, is starting to feel resentment towards the hard work inherent in the adult life that lies before him. So, what age is Adzel now? He is 18 years old. His father was working, he was having some business. So, the next inherent for this business was Adzel. He had to take up the business at his certain age. But what happened to Adzel? He did not want to work. He wanted to rest and enjoy the luxuries. So, his father wanted him to take up the business. Adzel, who is due to marry the beautiful Aksa. I told you Aksa is a girl who is an orphan who lived in Kadish house. Kadish is Adzel's father. They brought her to their home. She lived with them and she was very beautiful, and it was fixed that Aksa will marry to Adzel. Okay. So here he was about to due to marry her, and but at that time he started feeling resentment towards the hard work. He did not want to do all the hard work as his father was doing. He wanted completely rest and luxury. He did not want to do any hard work, and what happened? He wanted to inherit all those in his adult life. So like his father, he had to work, but he did not like to do that. So what he thinks, that it is better to go to paradise instead of living and working hard on earth. He reminisces about childhood and dreams of paradise. He realizes paradise could be the solution to his problems. So what he was doing, he always dreamt of going to paradise, because he had heard that in paradise it is not necessary to work, no need to get strained, and will enjoy all the luxuries. Here Nanny tells Adzel that if he goes to paradise, he'll get food like wine, fruit juice, and meat and fish which he wanted. All those food were available in paradise. He was heard all that by Nanny. So now he wanted to go to paradise instead of working hard and living with all these feelings on the earth. So from his childhood he wanted to go to paradise, and now he realizes that paradise is the solution for his all the problems. What are his problems? He did not want to work. He did not want to strain himself. He also wants only the luxury to be enjoyed in his life. Okay. So if he is not enjoying these, that was the problem he was having. So to solve all these problems, he thought that going to paradise is the only solution. Imagining that he has died, he announces to his loved ones that a funeral should be planned as he is on his way to paradise. Kadish laments for his son. So what he thinks, that he remembers that Nanny had told him only the dead can go to paradise, isn't it? So what he does, he imagines himself that he is dead. Okay, he imagines that he is dead now, and he announces, he is not really dead, but he announces to his family members that, loud and family members, that his funeral should be planned, should be buried, so that he will go to paradise. If a person dies, he should be buried. There are some rituals followed. If that is done, then they will go to hell or heaven based on their deeds on the earth. So he tells that, I am dead now, you plan for the funeral, I want to go to paradise somehow. And then Kadish laments for his son. So is there any father who will be not weeping if his son says that, I am dead, bury me, all these words? If a father hears all this, definitely he will feel very bad. So Kadish laments. Laments means he is sad, he is crying for his son. Adzel's parents, distraught, seek counsel with Dr. Yotes. They tried whatever they could do. They went to different doctors, psychologists, but nothing worked. So finally what they did, they heard about a doctor, Dr. Yotes. He is the doctor who treats Adzel. So when they heard about him, they went to him. Parents were very much worried about their son. So they went to Dr. Yotes. The doctor asked for 8 days to cure Adzel. So doctor, he listens to Adzel's parents and he tells that he needs 8 days to cure their son. And within 8 days, Adzel will be alright. But Dr. Yotes, he says there are some conditions that which his parents has to follow. And those conditions were supposed to be followed by everyone at home. Even the servants who were there at home, they should follow the instructions given by Dr. Yotes. His plan is to ensure Adzel be careful what he wish for by burying the young man. So, after all the conditions applied, Dr. Yotes tells his father that that is Khadish. Adzel's father is Khadish. He tells him that all the procedure to bury him for the funeral should be planned. Do it everything, and there he has a twist. So now when the doctor visited their house, he looks at Adzel and tells that he is no more. Why have you kept a dead body in the home? You plan for the funeral and finish it soon. He is dead already. You need not keep him at home. So, according to the doctor's conditions, his father plans for the funeral. They keep him in the open coffin and they bury him. So, in the open coffin, he was buried, and Adzel was very happy now because he was going to paradise after death. Correct? Though he was not dead, he feels he is dead. He became very weak. He stopped eating. He stopped talking to people. Everything had happened already. So now when his time has come to be dead and go to paradise, Adzel was very happy. So what he does, he sleeps. So because of that happiness and satisfaction, he sleeps for some time. By that time, all the changeover was done by Dr. Yodes and Adzel's parents. What did they do? So after the funeral, he slept for some time, and then Adzel's room is arranged to look like paradise. So how his room was arranged? As if it is a paradise. So how Nanny had told, how he had imagined the paradise would be. So like that it was decorated. So completely white screens, white bedspreads, everything was white, because we think that paradise is completely white in color. The angels with feathers, they come and they feed us, they help us in our work. All these are the beliefs, right? So we imagine paradise as that. So here Adzel's room is arranged to look like paradise. Adzel is delighted by angels who bring him cakes and ripe fruits. So he was slept, no? From the coffin he was brought. They had arranged for open coffin so that they can bring Adzel back to the room. Okay, only his room was covered. All the window panels were covered with white screens so that sunlight would not come in. Candles were burnt everywhere, and it was decorated as if it was paradise, which was imagined by him. Okay, now Adzel, he wakes up after some time of sleep. He wakes up. When he wakes up, he is on the bed, which is in the paradise. So he could see the white screen, white bedspread and bed, everything which was very comfortable, which he dreamt of always, has come true now. He was in paradise. And the angels who were there, when he called, is there someone? The angels come there and they bring him the cake and ripe fruits. So fruits were ripe, means exact to eat. In that ripened condition, fruits were brought to him. So paradise means, we have heard that everything is perfect, everything is beautiful, everything is as we wish to have. Correct? So he got cakes and ripened fruits. However, he begins to grow restless, desiring to get out of bed and use his body. So there what happens? One day he wanted to eat the meat of fish. He got that. He always dreamt of, that is, the angels will bring him all the food. He'll be seated. He need not work. He's not working. He did not strain his body. He sat in a place and everything was brought. He was not supposed to go out. Once what happens? He was so tired of sitting and sleeping that he wanted to do some work. He asks the angel, that the angels remind him that in paradise one need only relax and enjoy oneself. So when he asks the angel, he wants to go out, take a walk or play with his aged children. The angel answers that he is not supposed to go out, or he is only here to rest and enjoy, eat food, rest and sleep. For only those things he is in the paradise. But that was not thing of resting for him. He felt he is restless. Restless of what? Tired of what? Being lazy made him feel tired. Being lazy made him restless. He wanted to do something new. And first day what he ate, the same was served for the next day also. Whenever he wanted to eat something, the same food was served to him. So even that disappointed him. He thought every time it will be different food. It was not like on the earth, but it was same even in the paradise. He had to eat same fruits, same food and same wine or juice, whatever was given. So all these made him restless and he wanted to give some work to his body. Now, Edsel want to work or give some work to his body, but what did the angels say? That in paradise one need only relax and enjoy oneself. So there was room given to him. Edsel finds that this place is also burdened by routine and boredom. So there he feels that it is routine and boredom. If he wanted to play with somebody, he was not supposed to go out of his room. So when he asked that, is there anybody with whom I can play? The angels answered that no, here each one has their own house, own heaven kind of house where they live, and the other house is too far from here. You need many days to travel to there and nobody visits to others' house. Then he inquires about his family members, about father, mother and Aksa. He was missing Aksa a lot in the paradise. He asks about them. The angels tell that your father has another 20 years to live, your mother has another 25 years to live, and your Aksa has a long life because she has to get married, she has to lead life happily, and then her death will come. Only after that she will come to paradise. So now what option was left to Edsel? That he must live there at least for 20 years to see his father, then his mother, and finally Aksa. One thing which worried Edsel was, if Aksa gets married to other person, what about him? Now it was fixed when he was alive, means when he did not go to paradise, it was fixed that Edsel and Aksa will marry and they will lead a happy life. But he was not ready to give up Aksa to anybody. So all this worried him, and that same routine, sleep, wake up, eat the same food, drink the same wine and again sleep, was boredom to him. He felt it very boring. Resentful, he wants out of paradise and wishes he were alive. So this restlessness made him resentment towards living there. So now he wanted to do some work. He wanted to strain his body. He wanted some different routine. So what he missed in the earth, that he wanted to do now. He wanted to play. He wanted to go out in the nature, wanted the sunlight. All those he was missing. So now what he says that he want to wish, or he wishes to be alive. He wants to live. The angels declare him unready for their world. So doctor finds that this is the right time. Dr. Yotes, he finds this is the right time to tell Edsel that he can come back. So what they do is, they send the angels, the maid who were there at home, they were dressed up as angels. They wear a white gown kind of dress, and with feathers they were coming when whatever was asked by Edsel. To keep it secret that he is in paradise, not in his own room. Even the plates, whatever they served, was in gold color. So this arrangement was made by Dr. Yotes. So here what happens finally? The angels come and see, when his mood was changed, the angels were sent by Dr. Yotes to tell that he was not ready, he was unready for their world, and announce his return to life. What they say, they come and say, sorry sir, you are not ready, means this is not the time, we had mistaken, you are not the person who must come to paradise, we had mistaken you and brought you here. So you need to go back to life, you are not dead yet. So you need to go back to life and live on earth for a few more years and then come to paradise. Now what was the condition? Edsel wanted to leave. At the right time, angels told him that you are not ready to come to paradise. You are supposed to live on earth for few more years. So we'll be sending you back. So this was what even Edsel wanted to. He wanted to come back to life. He wanted to live with his parents and Aksa. He wanted to play in the nature. He wanted to hear to the birds chirping. All those he wanted. So this was the time when Yotes asked the angels or the maids to tell him all this. So now Adzel was very happy that he was coming back to earth. Adzel is told that he need not to be stayed in the paradise. He can go back to his place because he has not finished his lifetime. He has come here before his time was finished. So the angels bring him back to the earth. While bringing him back, they tie cloth to his eyes and they make him roam around the house in every corridor, and finally they bring him to hall. So this is how he is brought back to the earth. But here we should know that this was his imagination, that he is living in paradise. His room was decorated like paradise. So we should know that in reality he was in his own house, in his own room. But to make him feel that he has come alive, the angels, according to Dr. Yote's idea, the angels bring him back to the hall. So Adzel is welcomed back to life by his family and his fiancée Aksa. So they were in the hall. When he looked at them, when the cloth was removed, he was so happy that he ran to his parents, he hugged them, he kissed his parents, he fell to their feet, and he also went to Aksa, he hugged her and he was happy. He asks Aksa, "Do you remember me?" And do you know what Aksa tells to that? She says, "Yes, of course. When did I forget you to remember?" So now Adzel was so very happy, so satisfied because he has come back. So you know how he was feeling in the paradise. First day he was very happy. Second day his happiness reduced, and by the time spent there, it was routine and boredom to him. The same food was served, the same work he was doing. The only work he was doing was eating and sleeping. So he wanted to see the sun, he wanted to see the nature, he wanted to hear to the chirping of birds. So when he was brought to earth by the angels, he was happy to the fullest extent. He has realized his love for life because he has come back from the paradise. Now he understood the value of life. So as the theme of the story tells, that life is better than death. Here in this part of the story, he understands the love for life. He understands how life is beautiful, how much he loves life instead of death, for which he did a great big drama that he has to die. He did not eat, he went on fasting, he did not speak to his family members. He himself announced that he is dead, correct? But finally he understood the value of life. Well, he started loving his life. A celebration ensues at the wedding of Adzel and Aksa. Here their wedding party was hosted, and this party, the wedding celebration, went on for 7 days. All the guests were invited, and the chief guest was Dr. Yotes, because he was the one who brought Adzel back to life, back to earth. So he was the chief guest, and they got married. All the guests blessed them, and after some years, all his family members, Adzel's parents and Aksa, tells him what happened when he was in paradise. How did he go to paradise? How he came back? So you must remember that he was kept in an open coffin, and when he went asleep, he was brought to his bedroom, which was decorated as paradise. So this was understood by Adzel, and then he goes on telling that to his children also. So he tells his children that Dr. Yotes is the person who brought him back. So he starts praising Dr. Yotes for his deeds. So this is what we learn here. Adzel, he starts loving his life, and also he gets married, and after marriage he comes to know what had happened in real. Then he takes up his father's business also. He works well, he puts all his dedication to the business, he earns good money, and he lives a very happy and contented life. Let's discuss the question answers now. Why did Adzel become ill? Adzel means he is ill because he dreams to live in paradise. So his dream made him ill. Who is Aksa? Aksa is a distant relative of Kadish who lived with them. Adzel and Aksa ate, played, studied together. So Aksa and Adzel were of same age. So she was a far relative of Kaddish, who was orphan. She was brought to their house to live. And what did Aksa and Adzel do? They did everything together. What was told by an old nurse to Adzel about paradise? So what did the nanny tell about paradise to Adzel? She told him that in paradise it was not necessary to work or study. Even studying was not necessary in paradise. One can eat the meat of wild oxen and flesh of whales. So I told you fish, flesh of fish, it is the flesh of whales. Can drink wine and sleep at any hour of the day. Like living on the earth, should wake up early in the morning, should get ready for the school, should study, do the homework, do the household works, do my own duties. All those were not there in paradise. This was told by nanny. What was the nature of Adzel? What was he? Adzel hated to get up early. He did not want to get up early. He knew that one day he would have to take over his father's business and he did not want to. So, he knew that his father's business should be looked after him one or the other day, but he did not want to do that. What was the only way to go to paradise? The only way to go to paradise is to die. Correct? What did Adzel do to go to paradise? He decided to die to go to paradise as soon as possible. So, he was fed up of doing all the work, waking up early, eating the same food, correct? So, he wanted to go to the paradise as soon as possible. He thought about it so much that soon he began to imagine that he was dead. So, he was also told that only dead can go to paradise. So, what he did, he thought of that more and he started feeling that he is dead. What is the name of the doctor who treated Adzel? You must be knowing, that is Dr. Yotes. How was the condition of Adzel when Dr. Yotes visited his home? How was Adzel? So, he was weak. He wanted to go to paradise. He had stopped eating food. He had reduced talking to family members also. Adzel lay on his bed, pale and thin from fasting. He had stopped eating so that he'll die and he'll go to paradise, correct? So, he had become pale and thin from fasting. What did the doctor exclaim after taking a look at Adzel? What did the doctor tell? He exclaimed, "Why have you kept a dead body in the house? Why don't you make a funeral?" So, this was the plan of Dr. Yotes and his family, right? So, how he explains? He exclaims that, "Why have you kept a dead body at home? Why don't you make a funeral?" How did the doctor request to prepare the room? So, how Adzel's room was decorated? The doctor requested to prepare the room like paradise. So, what was told to him? How the paradise is? In the same way, the room was decorated, and that was the instructions given by Dr. Yotes. What was done with Adzel? Adzel was placed in an open coffin and a funeral ceremony was held. So, you know how it was done. He was made to sleep in a open coffin and then acted as if he is buried, and then he felt asleep because of that satisfaction and that weakness in his body. He fell asleep, and when he woke up, where was he? He was in paradise. Was it paradise? No, that was the room, Adzel's room, which was decorated as paradise. Okay. So, these are the most probable question answers. Then, what happened once Adzel was made to sleep in the coffin? As I told you, he fell asleep, and when he awoke, he was in a room he could not recognize. When asked with the servant, he said he is in the paradise. What did Adzel eat in the paradise? What was he willing to eat? Adzel could eat flesh of meat, fish, pomegranates, persimmons, pineapples and peaches repeatedly. So, here persimmons means a small red fruit, looks like tomato but very small in size. Those are called as persimmons. Pineapples and peaches. So, was it one after the other? No. Repeatedly he ate the same food. Meat of fish, oxen's meat, whale's meat and persimmons, same fruits, pineapples, pomegranates, and the wine was of same taste. So, repeatedly he was eating the same food. So, these are the question answers. Now let us see how to conclude the lesson. If we say someone is living in a fool's paradise, if we say that somebody is living in fool's paradise, we are criticizing them. Okay, what we are doing if we say that, we are criticizing them because they are not aware that their present happy situation is likely to change and get worse. Because like what happened with Adzel, he was actually happy on earth, but he wanted to go to paradise. He always wished to go to paradise. What happened there? His condition worsened. He did not live happily there because it was boring for him. It was the same repeated routine lifestyle. So he wanted to come back to life, correct? So if we are criticizing someone for living in fool's paradise, what we are doing? So we are criticizing them because they are not aware that their present situation or happy situation is likely to change and get worse, like Adzel's life. Okay, so this is the conclusion for the lesson Fool's Paradise. So hope you understood this, you enjoyed this lesson, and if you are dreaming of going to paradise, think once again, think which is better place for you. If you feel you have problems in your life, think again, what are the good things you have with you, what is the good thing happening with you, then you will be very happy with the situation you have, other than dreaming about others' life. Hope you enjoyed this session. Wishing you good luck. Thank you.